Hi there. Hello again. Well, this is our 8th Spanish lesson at SpanishFreeLessonsOnline.com. Welcome back. In this lesson, we will see how to conjugate some regular verbs. Okay? We will practice with two regular verbs, the verbs llamarse and the verb hablar. Okay? Llamarse is to be called, and hablar is to speak. Now, first of all, I want to show you something. In Spanish, we have most verbs fit into what we call the regular verbs. Then we have a smaller group of verbs that are the irregulars. Okay? And the regular verbs fit in three different categories. We have the verbs which have an ending in ar, right? A-R, ar. We have another group of verbs that has an ending in er, and a third group of verbs which finish in ir. Okay? So, verbs can be classified according to how they end in verbs that finish with ar, verbs that finish with er, and verbs that finish with ir. So there is a rule of how to conjugate verbs for each one of these three groups, right? And the regular verbs follow the rule. So if we see how to conjugate regular verbs, then we'll be able to conjugate most of the verbs in Spanish, okay? Now, we also have verbs that can be reflexive as well as transitive, okay? And this is the example with the verb llamarse, okay? You can see the verb itself is llamar without the se at the end. Llamar. Llamar is to call. Llamar. So, I can call somebody. Voy a llamar a alguien. Okay? Llamar is to call. But, if you use the indirect object pronoun at the end, right, then the verb becomes a reflexive verb. So, it would be call myself, right? And that's actually the verb in Spanish that you use for saying that somebody's name is, or my name is, or this is called like this. Okay? So, llamar is to call, llamarse is to be called. Okay? So, the indirect object pronoun, right, this ending, se, se, that also changes according to which is the subject. So that's what we will see up here in the first example we'll see of how to conjugate, right? Now, I'll repeat. Both verbs that we will see today are regular verbs of the group of the verbs that finish in ar. A-R, ar. Why? We can see here. The ending of the verb is llamar, finishes in A-R. Hablar finishes in A-R. So these two verbs belong to the same group, right? The group of verbs ending in ar. Yes? The difference is that here we use llamar, but we use a reflexive verb, llamarse. Okay? In infinitive, the reflexive verb has the indirect object pronoun at the end. Okay? But when we conjugate it, it goes in between of the person and the conjugated verb. Right? So let's see how it works. Let's review the Spanish pronouns. We have yo, tú, él, or ella. This is for I, you, he, or she. Nosotros, vosotros, or ustedes, depending which, I said before that in Spain they use vosotros, and in Latin America they use ustedes, okay, for you plural. And ellos, ellos is they. Nosotros is we. So now look at this. Vosotros and ustedes means the same thing, means you plural, right? However, depending which one you use, vosotros or ustedes, you can see that the indirect object pronoun changes, and also the conjugation of the verb is different. Llamáis or llaman. So, but look at this. The conjugation for ustedes is easy because it's the same conjugation for ellos, for they. So if you choose to use ustedes for you plural, the conjugation will always be the same as for they, as for ellos. Okay? You can see the same. So I repeat this once again. Vosotros is the way that they speak in Spain. Ustedes is the way that is spoken in Latin America. But both ways are academically correct, and you can just use the one that is easier for you. Okay? Okay. Let's begin with yo me llamo Juan. That literally means my name is Juan. However, if we translate it word by word, this is I myself call Juan. Tú te llamas Juan. You yourself call Juan. Él se llama Juan. He himself called Juan. Right? Or it means he is called Juan. Or if we want to use she, ella se llama Juana. Okay? Because Juana is the female form of the name Juan. Juan would be John in English. So, you can see here I'm using tú with a tilde up here, right? That line you see on top of the U. Sometimes you have seen me write tú without the tilde. Although now I won't teach the rules of the tildes, that we have four different rules for tildes. I will just tell you, for you not to be surprised.